And welcome to another RSR. Tonight we are recapping the conference quarterfinals and predicting the conference semifinals of the 2025 MLS Cup Playoffs. Reacción de la conferencia cuartos de final y predicción de la Conference Semifinals de la MLS Cup Playoffs. 8 series are over. There were 3 sweeps and 5 game threes. The most game threes we've ever seen in MLS playoff history. With this format. It's only been 3 years, but there you go. So we'll start in order of how each tie finished, or which tie finished first, second, third, all that. Eastern Conference Quarterfinal 1, Philadelphia Union 2, Chicago Fire FC 0, 2-0 in the series. Philadelphia Union 2 en la serie, Chicago Fire FC 0. Philadelphia Union avanzar. I was right about this one. Philadelphia Union advances. I called it. I said Philly would win. I didn't think they'd lose to either wild card club. They got Chicago. Chicago didn't even really do well at home, per se. I mean, Philadelphia pretty much did their whole job overall. I can't really say much against Philly. I mean, it was pretty cut and dry who the better team was. The worst part about it was the Chicago Fire FC fans doing the chant and how much of a situation that became. That's probably what this tie is going to be remembered more for at this point than anything else, sadly. Western Conference Quarterfinal 4. We have Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2, FC Dallas 0. Dallas fought hard. Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2 en la serie, FC Dallas 0. I was right about this one, but Dallas fought harder than I expected, to be real. I thought Dallas were going to go down easily. It was a 2-0 series, but overall, I mean, Vancouver won at home, and then they won on penalties in Dallas. They came back to win and won on penalties, or draw and then win on penalties. Dallas fought harder than I expected. I thought it was going to be an easy tie for Vancouver, but Dallas gave it a fight, even though it only went 2 games. It was probably the hardest fought 2-game sweep I ever seen. But I was right about this one. 2-0, 2 for 2 on my predictions. Western Conference Quarterfinal 3, LAFC 2, Austin FC 0. LAFC 2 en la serie, Austin FC 0. I was right about this one as well. LAFC pretty much absolutely, it was tighter in LA, 2-1 win, but they dominated Austin. Austin, once they were down game 2, they didn't seem to fight at their own house. And that's where this went. LAFC honestly had a control easily, frankly. And they did. 3-0 on my predictions, 3 for 3 on my predictions. Eastern Conference Quarterfinal 2. Now we're into game 3s. 3-game series. New York City FC 2, Charlotte FC 1, New York City FC 2 en la serie, 1, Charlotte FC. I was right about this one. I had New York winning. I liked their experience playoff-wise, and I liked the way that they were playing. And Charlotte, I didn't like the way they were playing. They were backsliding off an amazing start. Stabilized a little bit, but it wasn't too pretty. NYCFC, I had more faith in, and they repaid that. They won both games in Charlotte, lost at home on penalties. Seeing the injury to Andres Pereira, that was a bad moment. I did not like seeing that replay. I'm surprised Apple showed it, but NYCFC were pretty solid on the road and won the series that way, and I was right about this tie. 4-0 and 4 for 4 on my predictions. Western Conference Quarterfinal 2, Minnesota United FC 2, Seattle Sounders FC 1, Minnesota United FC 2 en la serie, Seattle Sounders FC 1. Seattle won at home and kicked Minnesota's ass at CenturyLink Field. Minnesota United won both games on penalties in Minnesota. Minnesota came back from down 2-0 to go to penalties, and also Seattle got the 3rd goal, tied it up, went to penalties. Minnesota, they knew how to beat Seattle. Seattle are a team you have to work hard to eliminate, but once you eliminate them, you're in good position. And Minnesota eliminated them. So that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. But I was wrong about this tie. The only thing I was wrong about, 4-1 on my predictions, 4 for 5. I wish I got a full 8 for 8, but I believed in Seattle's experience and not Minnesota's well play and good play. And that's what got me wrong there. Eastern Conference Quarterfinal 4, FC Cincinnati 2, Columbus Crew 1, FC Cincinnati 2 en la Serie, Columbus Crew 1. I was right about this one. I had Cincinnati going through. I'm like, Cincinnati are the better team this year than Columbus. Columbus have had a very shaky season for their standards, but you can't write them off. First game, Cincinnati wins. You're like, okay, makes sense. Columbus Crew comes back and kicks Cincinnati's ass at home. I'm like, well, they defended their home turf, but what does this turn into in Game 3? Then Cincinnati were down 1-0, but Brenner comes back and scores them 2 goals. And then you're like, okay, Cincinnati comes back to win. I wouldn't say they vanquished their bottling demons, but I still don't trust them exactly when it comes to playoff football, but we'll see how the next round goes. But Columbus just, it wasn't their season really, overall. It just wasn't their season. They had a really shaky season, and the playoffs showed that as well. I was right about this one. 5-1 on my predictions. 5 out of 6 on my predictions. Eastern Conference Quarterfinal 3, Inter Miami CF 2, Nashville SC 1, Inter Miami CF 2 en la Serie, Nashville SC 1. I was right about this one. Miami won. They won both games at home. They lost in Nashville, but Miami learned their lesson from last year. They won Game 1, lost 2 and 3, road, and then back in Miami. They learned their lesson this year. They played Game 3, and they never took their foot off the gas. Miami deservedly won this series. They put away Nashville. Nashville had a little bit of a, we're down. It's going to be hard for us to fight back. That offside or that disallowed goal just absolutely killed them, and then Miami finished them off. But Miami did finish them off, unlike Atlanta last year. And they're both similar teams in the way they play when it comes to Atlanta and Nashville. So Miami vanquished those demons. We'll see what they do throughout the rest of the playoffs, but I was right about this one. 6-1 on my predictions, 6 out of 7. No, I'm not doing the mean. Western Conference Quarterfinal 1, San Diego FC 2, Portland Timbers FC 1, San Diego FC 2 en la Serie, Portland Timbers FC 1. I was right about this one. I had San Diego winning. San Diego boat raced Portland for a half in the first game, but that was enough to win, even though Velde got one back. Third game, San Diego boat raced Portland again. Portland won on penalties Game 2. Portland fought hard to get this to 3 games, but San Diego was always the better team. And that's where we are. San Diego's the more firepower team of the two, and that's why they won this series. They have more firepower, better finishing, better attacking, good defense, good goalie, whether it's their starter or their backup. San Diego was always going to win this series. Portland, it was going to be tough for them, but I thought they had a better chance than RSL. But Portland were tough, but in the end, they lost. So San Diego moves on. I was right about this one. 7-1 on my quarterfinal predictions. 7 out of 8. Which isn't bad overall. Which isn't bad. But damn, I wish I got 8 out of 8. Either way, here are my conference semifinal predictions. Western Conference. So, had them written in order of who got through first, but let's do this East and West then. Eastern Conference Semifinal 1. Philadelphia Union versus New York City FC. Philadelphia Union contra New York City FC. I have Philadelphia Union winning. I think Philadelphia Union are the better team. I think they're the stronger team. I think New York losing Pereira, that's going to be a big loss. Philadelphia's playing at home. If they didn't lose Pereira, I thought New York would have a little bit more of a chance, but right now, I think Philadelphia are playing really good football. They won the Shield. They're at home. I think Philly gets it done. Philly moves on to the conference final in a historic conference playoff matchup. A rematch of that of course. Eastern Conference Semifinal 2, FC Cincinnati versus Inter Miami CF. FC Cincinnati contra Inter Miami CF. I have Miami winning. I have Miami winning because, to me, I think Miami played the better football. I think Miami looks better. After this round, I think Miami looks better. Of the two, Miami looks like the better team overall, in my opinion. Miami seems to have vanquished their playoff demons. Cincinnati, Game 3, well, they got their ass kicked Game 2 in Columbus. Game 3, they almost lost. They had to have a heroic performance from Brenner to score 2 goals, score the brace to put them through to the next round. Their bottle job ways seem to still be in their DNA. Even though they're hosting Miami, Miami seem to have vanquished their demons. I think Miami are playing the better football. I think they're playing the more attacking football. I think Miami are going to win this game. They're going to upset Cincinnati because I think Cincinnati still have their demons not exercised where Miami have exercised their demons. Miami moves on to the conference final. Western Conference Semifinals. San Diego FC versus Minnesota United FC. San Diego FC contra Minnesota United FC. I got San Diego. Now you're saying, Ryan, you had them losing to Seattle. That's a different thing. Seattle, again, I believed in their history, their confidence, and their fact they won the League's Cup, and the fact they have all this experience, where San Diego doesn't. And Portland made it tough for them. San Diego, yes, Minnesota can make it tough. I don't think Minnesota's defense is as good as Portland's, and I don't really think the attack of what Minnesota has right now is better than what Portland had. I think San Diego's going to have a slightly easier time, especially at home, against Minnesota than they did Portland. And I think that matters a whole hell of a lot, frankly. I think San Diego's going to move on to the conference final. And finally, Vancouver Whitecaps FC versus LAFC. Vancouver Whitecaps FC contra LAFC. For me, I have Vancouver Whitecaps FC versus LAFC. I have Vancouver Whitecaps winning. This is the match of Sun versus Muller. 2 high-powered teams that were absolutely bolstered by a summer signing. But they were already high-flying at times through the year before that. For me, Vancouver at home, that's definitely helpful. But I think Vancouver right now is just the slightly better team, and I think they're going to use this moment and get the win that they so have been working for a whole season. I think Vancouver are going to beat LAFC. I think Muller's going to have a big answer in that. I think they're going to figure this out. I think Vancouver goes to the conference final. Which means my predicted conference finals are, for the Eastern Conference Final, Philadelphia Union versus Inter Miami CF. Philadelphia Union contra Inter Miami en la Conferencia Final. Western Conference Finals, San Diego FC versus Vancouver Whitecaps FC. San Diego FC contra Vancouver Whitecaps FC en la Conferencia Final. So, that's what I have. We'll find out the weekend before Thanksgiving if I'm correct, and we'll talk about it after the round is over. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification once subscribed, send some chats on live streams, comment on this video, put this in playlists, share with friends and family, all that great stuff. I will see you tomorrow. For a recap, not a recap, predictions for the CONCACAF World Cup qualifier match window 3, round 3 predictions. We're going to predict the round, predict who will go to the World Cup and who will be the playoff teams. We have nobody qualified for all 5 slots. We have nobody qualified to those slots because CONCACAF is a different format. All to be played for in window 3. It's going to be fun, but I'll see you tomorrow to predict it. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See you.